Welcome back, everyone. It is good to see you all. Today, I want to talk about the Zen Bivy sleep system. It does something that I think a lot of people need. And the way that this occurred was that a number of viewers asked me to review it in the comments. I, through a strange array of comments, ended up in another conversation with one of the owners of Zen Bivy. And he was like, I'll happily send you a sleep system so you can test it. So we're going to do that. We're going to test out the Core Bed 25. Let's go. Okay, I am just back from Assateague, which is where I got to use this piece of gear. And I'm going to tell you right now, I'm not going to be like spec heavy. I'm not going to be like tech heavy. I'm going to tell you what my experience was with this bag. Did I like it? Did I dislike it? What did I like? What did I dislike? Things like that. There are great channels that do nothing but deeply technical specs of gear, of outdoor gear. That is not my realm. That is not my forte. I have a ton of experience both in retail and in the outdoors dealing with gear, but I don't want to get into the nitty gritty of ounces and things like that. Another part of this that's interesting is that I didn't do a deep amount of research on this, so I don't have a lot of info going in. I did a relatively long Zoom call with Mike at Zen Bivy. He sort of decided based on conversation what to send me. And so what he sent me was the Core Quilt, which was the 25-degree down version, and the Core Sheet, which I think is the regular size. I tried to leave the tags on everything, but there's no tag on the Core Sheet. It is the 25-inch size, and he sent me a sleeping pad. Hang on. He sent me the Flex UL 25 by 77 mattress. And I think this is one of the most important pieces. And in order to tell you this piece, I need to tell you a story about a sleeping pad. Okay, so back in the day, if you were going backpacking or anything like that, there were really two types of sleeping bags. There were rectangle bags, which were super comfy, but not suitable for backpacking. They were just way too big and way too heavy. And there were mummy bags, which a lot of people didn't like because they felt constricted. And you either put up with it or and figured out some way. I knew people that used to unzip a zipper and leave a leg hanging out or whatever. Or you carried a big bag that was way too big really for backpacking. And then I'm going to say around 2006, we saw Big Agnes release. The first two bags that I noticed were the Lost Ranger and the Encampment. One was synthetic, one was down. Both of them were designed for people who didn't like sleeping in mummy bags, but needed the performance of a mummy bag. They needed heat to be trapped in the bag the way a mummy bag traps heat so that you stay warmer. The rectangle bags would have an open top and you would just lose all of that heat out the top of the bag. They encapsulated your feet, but they didn't trap you in the bag, but were really more rectangle with a hood. And those were a game changer, I have to say, for people who didn't like mummy bags. They were designed without insulation on the bottom, and they were designed to attach to a sleeping pad. In particular, what was called the Big Agnes Air Core, which was available in an insulated pad and an uninsulated pad. And it was a blow-up pad that looked, everyone called it a pool toy. It looks like a pool toy. And so the bag and the pad were designed to work together. The bag would actually attach to the pad. And something happened that Big Agnes didn't plan on. They sold way more of the pads than they did the bag-pad combination. The pad itself was a game changer. It packed small, it packed relatively light, but packed smaller, as I visualize it, packed smaller than the Thermarest self-inflating pad that I used at the time, and was super comfortable, super comfortable. And there were debates about insulation and things like that. I forget what they used. It might have been Primaloft, but there were debates about was it warm enough, whatever. but people loved the comfort level. People bought that pad like crazy. So I want to say that was 2006, 2007, 2008. Let's jump back to today. That brings us back to today and the Flex Air mattress. I'm going to cut to the chase. This is the best sleeping pad I've ever slept on in my life. Incredibly comfortable, roomy. It's 25 by 77. I do see on the website that it says 25 by 78. I read 25 by 77 on here. I'm wondering if I have a pre-production size. I don't know. But in any case, it's super roomy. I don't know why they sent me such a big one. I'm like 5'7" on a low gravity day. I'm wondering if it's just what they had, but this thing is amazing. I can't find a weight for it. I'll try and weigh it when I start to edit this video. Comes with an inflation sack. The inflation sack is waterproof. It's not sealed up here completely, but like this is something that I don't put in a dry bag because if it were to get wet, it's just going to be the edges, and that's without a waterproof bag. So no waterproof bag needed, no dry bag needed. It took me just a couple minutes to blow the pad up with this. It was super easy, nice valve system, but this thing, game changer. I am super happy with this. This is more like my new favorite piece of gear. So super nice. Okay, so as I said, the bed is made up of the core sheet and the core quilt. Super easy to sort of assemble.
The Zen Bivy is set up. It was actually pretty easy. I've only done it once before. I did it in my office. The only mistake I made was, to my colorblind eyes, I can't determine the difference between what I now realize is a green tab and a yellow tab. So that was problematic. I would say very specific to me. I'm pretty severely colorblind.
I did it once here in my office, and then many months later, I did it at Assateague this past weekend. Set up quickly, is light, packs small. It weighs less than my 17-degree down bag, which is an REI Igneo, and packs to about the same size in a compression sack with the pillow in there. And so the pillow is two parts. There's a down pillow with an air bladder as well. You can use them combined or you can use them separately. I use them combined. I did play a little bit with how much air was in there. I'm not in general a fan of air pillows, but I used this and was super happy with it. I think this is an amazing system, particularly for how small it packs, especially if you are the kind of person that doesn't like a mummy bag. And this is really my only problem. I don't suffer from that issue. I've been sleeping in mummy bags forever and really like mummy bags.
A lot of people are not comfortable with the constraints of a mummy bag. My wife being that person. And we have a Nemo bag and we have Big Agnes bag for her, both designed for people who don't like to sleep in a mummy bag. So I'm testing this out, but I think I'm gonna have to put her in it. I've been sleeping in mummy bags since the mid-'80s when that was the only choice. And I am comfortable in mummy bags. And in fact, at home, when I can't sleep, I grab an unzipped mummy bag and put my feet in the pocket and go to sleep. And it's my happy place. And so one thing I really like about this system is that it does have the ability to give you like a foot pocket, which is how I'm using it. And it's super nice. But if you don't want that, you don't have to have that. But other than that, it's like sleeping in a bed. And in that sense, it's pretty nice. It's a nice system.
This was super comfortable, easy to set up, packed small. I really liked it. I would say the only thing that I missed was it uses hook and loops, so not like Velcro, but literally a little tiny hook and a little tiny loop to affix the sides of the quilt to the sheet. And those are easy enough to unhook to open, but it's sort of, if you want to open one side, it's 3 hooks to unhook it, whereas I'm used to just unzipping the zipper. I would say that's my only complaint, and that's nitpicky. It didn't take me that much longer. It was super easy. I'm sure I would get used to it on a trip or two. It was just something I had to think about, like, oh, how do I open this, as opposed to just unzipping. So if you are the type of person that doesn't find a mummy bag comfortable, this is the way to go. I think I'm going to put my wife in it because she does not like mummy bags. She's got a Nemo bag and a Big Agnes bag, and she used the Big Agnes in Baja on an old sailing course and loved it and was super comfy with it. I want to put her in this, and I think this is going to end up being the system that she uses for our next summer trip, which is epic, and I've not gone live yet with. So I think what's going to end up happening is I'm going to end up buying another one of these because I think I want to use it too. Okay, everyone, those are my thoughts on the Zen Bivy core bed system. Love it. Don't know why I'm shaking my head no. Absolutely loved it. Thanks to all the folks at Zen Bivy who hooked me up with this system. I'm going to continue to use it, and as I said, we'll probably be buying another one relatively soon. Okay, if you enjoyed this content, do me a favor, hit like, hit subscribe. You can support the channel over on Ko-fi, where all my stuff is, gear lists and guides, ways, and stickers and stuff like that. Otherwise, enjoy your morning, and I'll see you outside.